Good morning. It's another beautiful day in Central PA. I'm so glad that it's not raining like it was. I'm sure we'll see more rain and bad weather, but right now, these bright sunny days have been really nice. Before we get started, please like and subscribe. Please share my channel. Please comment whether you agree with me or not. I love hearing from you. I love interacting with you. I love it when you share. I love it when you contribute. If there are things that I'm saying that might be wrong, I like it when you let me know that. And if there are things that I'm saying that you know something about and you can add to it, I really like that too. So thank you very much for being here. Love having you here. So today, I wasn't really deep thinking today. I just got up and enjoyed the sunrise. There was a beautiful sunrise over the river today. Took some pictures and just hung out with my cat, watched some videos, just sort of relaxed this morning. I wasn't really in deep thought, but there are a couple of things that I had been wanting to talk about. And one of them I really put off, and I think this is a good day to talk about that. And it has to do with nutrition and our cells. I think I had done a video way back somewhere about our cells, healing our cells. But I'm learning more and more about the cells in our body. And I know that there are those who think that this world is nothing more than a projection. And I have expressed that a couple times, that this world could be like, they call it a matrix, or like a holograph, or a dream, like a dream state that our minds are conjuring up. And, you know, well, that could be true. And I don't say yes or no to that. I'm just still interested in it, but not, you know, I haven't made up my decision as to whether I think that that's true. But either way, while we're here, just regardless of what this world that we're in, this experience that we're in, regardless of what it is or isn't, or how it was created, we still feel things. We have senses. We have, you know, eyes that see, ears that hear, and we have nerve endings that feel. And when we're sick, this world feels really real. I can assure you, from somebody who's been in chronic pain for a very long time, I've had chronic pain I've had pain for more than 30 years, but it's been chronic for about a little over a decade now. And they say they went all the way through, you know, first diagnosing multiple sclerosis and then saying it's discs, it's impingement, nerve impingement. Then they said it's arthritis in my spine. The latest that I've been told is it's not MS, but it's pretty much all of the other things. I've got disc compression, I've got nerves being impinged, I've got arthritis. They said I have 3 discs that don't have arthritis. So how do you end up with that? Every disc in my spine has arthritis except for 3. And they're like right in the middle of my back. So my neck is filled with arthritis, my lower back. That brings pain. And you know, it doesn't matter what they say this world is or isn't. Pain is pain. And when you feel pain, you can't deny it. I mean, we're living in an experience where we feel. And so it is very important to take care of these bodies that we have while we have them. We are made of cells, and cells are living, and the cells are made up of a lot of different things that require a certain level of our care. I mean, we really are responsible to care for this body that we are experiencing right now, whether we're living in this body, whether we're a spirit living in a physical body, or whether we are a consciousness creating a kind of a fantasy dream world. It doesn't matter what this is, we feel it and we're affected by it. And so maybe that's one of the things that we're just here to learn, is how to take good care of the housing that we're in. The Bible calls it the temple of the Holy Spirit. This is a temple that we were given to house our spirit while we're in this experience. So we better be taking care of this temple because it will rebel if we don't. And I'm a prime example of that. I was in the military. I lifted heavy equipment. I got out of the military. I worked at Boeing. Again, I lifted heavy equipment. I was a mechanic, an aircraft mechanic, and I lifted toolboxes and sheet metal and you name it. And when I was in my early 20s, I thought I was just Hercules. I thought I was the Incredible Hulk. For some reason, I figured I could just, you know, lift and carry any amount of weight because I felt like I could. And later in life, my back assured me that that wasn't the case. Little too late. But if you're young and you're lifting, everybody used to say, bend from the knees, and whatever, you know, I don't have time to bend from the knees. I don't have time to remember all this. And not only that, there were like small spaces we had to pull things out of, and it was really hard to remember all these different, you know, methods of keeping your back straight. So, you know, later in life, it caught up to me. And a lot of people that I've talked to have said they were in car accidents or they used to ride motorcycles. I used to ride dirt bikes. That's another thing that I did. I had a dirt bike when I was in my early 30s. I jumped that bike like nothing was ever going to happen to my back. And I can assure you that a good bit of arthritis probably has to do with the number of times that back tire hit the ground. And I could feel that because as I'm speaking about it, I can almost feel it right now. That can't be good for the back. So when you're young, take care of your body. I mean, I'm not telling you not to ride a dirt bike. I'm not telling you not to go out and have fun. I'm not telling you not to lift anything, but just be careful. I was just so very reckless with my body. Growing up, I was a tomboy. I climbed anything that was there. I climbed quarries. I jumped off of things. I jumped off of, you know, high places and bounced from rock to rock. And, you know, little kids don't know any of this, and they're very flexible. And, you know, kids have a body that can take a lot more. They're more lightweight. But when you get older into your 20s and 30s, just try to take it easy, you know, lifting, jumping, whatever it is you're doing, twisting, bending. Try, if you can, to treat your body as if it's already in pain when it's not. And then later down the line, you might be able to escape the pain. Another thing I wanted to share is just, you know, nutrition, and as far as what we put into our bodies, what we're eating and drinking. It took me a very long time, and I was extremely disappointed to find out that sugar is not our friend. Sugar was my best friend when I was a little kid. When I was young, we'd go to the candy store every Sunday and load up on candy, and that was like the joy of my life, getting penny candy and putting it in a bag and taking it home and reading the Sunday paper, the funnies in the Sunday paper. I don't know what it is about loading up with sugar, but I started early and I didn't stop. In fact, it's still hard for me to go without sugar. And that's an addiction. Sugar can be a really, really bad addiction. Alcohol is another one. I never really thought about alcohol as sugar, but it is. Alcohol is definitely sugar. Dude, I'm sorry I had to do that. This guy literally pulled out right in front of me, inches from my bumper, because he didn't want to yield. So anyway, sorry, I had to interrupt for a second and had to take care of business. Had to put my foot on the gas a little bit. So back to sugar. I still struggle with sugar, and I don't struggle with alcohol. I used to drink more alcohol. I got to a point where I was drinking a lot of alcohol, and I never realized, a lot of people call it a poison, and I can actually believe that, because alcohol, sugar, there are things that are very inflammatory. High fructose corn syrup is inflammatory. Refined white bread, if you refined sugar and white, flour, white flour is not great for you. Eating a lot of breads, and especially things like vegetable oil, cottonseed oil. There was another oil that I don't know if it's cottonseed, but I know vegetable oil, canola, I think. I'm not sure which one it is, but there are some oils out there that are really bad. So let's talk about the good things. The good things for your cells, the things that protect your cells. No, sugars and things like that break your cells down. They take the protective coating you're supposed to have around your cells that protect them, and they basically take away their ability to protect. When I bought this car, I had it sprayed with one of those protective things that if projectiles hit me on the road, if stones and rocks were hitting my car on the road, it's a protective coating so that it doesn't dent my car. I drive a 2013 and I only have a couple of small scratches on it. And I owe that to the protective coating that I decided to pay for. We have cells that have protection. Our cells have a natural protection. And it protects them against free radicals. It protects them against things that will break them down, that will cause them to warp out, and that will basically eat them and, just hurt them in a lot of different ways. So we have that protective coating around each cell. But when we put bad things into our bodies, like those sugars and white flour and things that are, like those oils that are bad oils, what we do is we strip our cells of their protective coating and we leave them without protection, which that's what causes us things like inflammation. Even cancer can, come from our cells. Cancer is cells that are going out of control, but we have all kinds of different autoimmune disorders. We have allergies. We have every kind of disease in the book, and all those things happen. And aging, just basic aging, those things happen from the breakdown of cells. So I'm not going to go through an entire encyclopedia of everything that's healthy. I have a list of foods that are really, really good for you. Ginger and turmeric are really good. Pineapples are good because they have bromelain, which is anti-inflammatory. Blueberries, walnuts are good. Nuts and seeds, anything from the ground, anything that's natural and fresh from the ground. Your basic fruits and vegetables and things that are grown organically and without pesticides and chemicals, those things are good. And you want to get as close to nature as possible when you're eating your foods. I talk a lot about shopping at the farmer's market, and I truly believe that the farm markets here, eating food that people have planted in the ground without pesticides, eating meats that people have on their farms, their cattle and their chickens and the fish and all the things that they're able to, to produce themselves. That I can feel in my body. I can feel a difference, a huge difference in eating natural. Dark chocolate is actually a good chocolate. Milk chocolate, not so much. You want to stay away from milk chocolate. But there are so many things that we can do to protect ourselves. I've recently discovered bone broth, and bone broth is something that I don't want to call it a miracle, but when you make bone broth soup the right way and you simmer it, you use the bones with the marrow and you simmer it, that is really, really, really healthy and good for you. I have an acquaintance who is from Jamaica, and she literally pulls the bone broth out of the chicken bones. The bone marrow. When she eats chicken, she pulls the bone marrow out of the chicken bones like you would a crab out of a crab shell. And she has done that all her life. And I'm telling you, she's in her 50s. She's my age and in her 50s, and she looks 20. I think that anti-aging has a lot to do with eating bone marrow. She said they do that in Jamaica, and that's how they keep their complexion. That's how they keep their youth. Basically, it's because bone marrow is really good for getting rid of free radicals and preventing aging. So, we don't stop aging. There's nothing we can do to stop aging. We just do. Aging is a fact of life, but we can prevent the effects, the really, really negative effects of aging. We can prevent the aches and pains that we don't have to have when we're in our 70s and 80s. We can prevent the wrinkles and all the the things on our face. Staying out of the sun is huge. I didn't do that. I probably have more wrinkles and spots on my face from sun than any of the foods that I've eaten, but staying out of the sun is very important. So start that when you're young. But there are a lot of things we can do to protect ourselves, and we really should be conscious of it. I've heard apple cider vinegar and oil. Just drink a tablespoon of each in the morning. I've been doing that. It helps a lot. It helps with digestion. A lot of our health comes from our gut. And so if we heal our gut, we heal our health. And I take a probiotic every day. At night, I take a probiotic and a prebiotic and a probiotic. There are things like sauerkraut that are good. Any fermented foods are good for you. Kombucha is some people say it's good and some people say no. There are different people on YouTube that have channels all about nutrition. But I really, really recommend getting into, you know, some of the people who really know more about nutrition than I do, and just listening to them, have them, you know, the ones that talk about cells, the ones that talk about free radicals, the ones that talk about foods that are healing, foods that are anti-inflammatory, anti-aging, and all those things. It's not that we're so vain that we're trying to never be old, that we just, you know I don't want to live forever. I really don't. I'm fine with aging, and I'm fine with going along the progression of life. It doesn't bother me at all. But some people want to at least maintain what they have as long as they can. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to not be in pain. There's nothing wrong with wanting to look your best. So that's just that was just what I wanted to share today. I don't talk about nutrition very often because I don't really talk about the body that often. But you know, just because I talk a lot about the soul and the spirit that lives inside the body, it doesn't mean that this body we've been given here while we're here isn't important. It is important. So we should remember that we were given these temples to take care of, and that's what we're supposed to do, is take care of these temples, and we should do that in the best way we can. And when I say should, again, I'm not telling you what to do, but if you want to live, I can't even say pain-free, with less pain, or if you want to try to avoid pain, or if you want to do your very best to make sure that you can have the best quality of life as long as you can, I do highly suggest looking deeper into nutrition. So that's all I have to say for today. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you next time.